Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Joe 2 Love. Here with your AEW Dynamite review for January 11, 2023. Take 2 this go around. I tried to record yesterday, but for whatever reason, my app shut me down well over midway through. So hopefully there's no issues today, and we'll just wrap up into it. Not sure why it's black and white, but I'll address that later. But nonetheless, here for your review. Before we get into things quickly, view new podcasts, so I see more pro wrestling reviews or AEW reviews, etc. Click the subscription there in the corner. Find out videos on the homepage. Click AJO2 in Love and you can find everything there. Last, thank you. Let's get into the review. Very fun edition of Dynamite and go over it all. So, show started off with Jon Moxley versus Hangman Page. Hangman's return match to the ring. First time since being knocked out in the first match for the AEW World title. This is good, fun open. Hell of a way to start. Of course, both broke down like a hockey fight to start, and then Mox got the advantage. Page was actually sent to the barricade on the outside. Big stiff shots through this match. So Hangman hit a big lariat. Mox actually fired back with his own lariat, similarly to the way that Page got knocked out in the first encounter, but only for a near fall. After some trading back and forth, Page hit a big clothesline, hit a big boot, knocking Mox to the outside, landed moonsault off the top rope, back in the ring. Mox got the advantage again, hit Death Rider, but only for a near fall. Mox then landed a pile driver, but Hangman kicked out at 1. Finally, Page won here with big lariat, followed straight into the buckshot lariat. 1, 2, 3. Page gets his revenge on Moxley to start this great episode of Dynamite. Adam Cole made his return to AEW. Great to see since August is when we last seen him on AEW TV, and of course much stuff has changed since August. Particularly around him. Bobby Fish is an Impact, Young Bucks with Omega, the Elite. Kyle O'Reilly is injured. Yeah, just much stuff has changed for AEW, but Adam Cole, he was out there saying, "Who's ready for story time with Adam Cole, baby?" Basically got into how it's good news and bad news situation. Good news is that, he's better. He documented how, there'd be times he'd be, first of all, he went to how his shoulder was in shreds. He had 2 bad head injuries. Talked about how sometimes he'd be waking up in the middle of the night and Britt would wake up right beside him asking, is he okay? How he'd go through battles with racing in his heart, and how sometimes he'd get dizzy spells and sometimes want to vomit in the car for being in too long. And he'd be wondering what is happening to him. And thank the crowd and appreciate all their support. How they didn't know what was happening to him, but they would always be there for him with his tweets and just his messages all around. Some including, I don't care if Adam Cole wrestles again, I just want him to be okay. Said how it meant the world to him. And, Cole then went into the bad news. Said how, the bad news isn't for him. It's for everyone in the AEW locker room that he's back and that it doesn't matter how long or when, but one day one guy will be at the very top of AEW, and his name, as the crowd chanted, Adam Cole, baby. So, Adam Cole is back and set to be at the top of AEW soon. Lee Moriarty and Big Bill versus Hook and Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Fun little match here between these two little pairings. Pretty much the big spot in this match was, could Hook get Big Bill up for the T-bone suplex? Thus he did. Crowd chanted and fun to see. Ultimately, they won here with Perry locked on the snare trap on Moriarty, and Moriarty tapped out for the win. So, good stuff there. So, we were set to get Konosuke Takeshita versus Bryan Danielson, but MJF decided to make his presence known. Came out after Konosuke's entrance. Konnichiwa, he said. Said, he hasn't taken a look, hasn't seen a lick of Konosuke stuff. He only fast forwards to what only matters on the show. That's MJF stuff. MJF so Konosuke said something, and I'm guessing Korean or Japanese, but MJF then said, wow, I thought Bryan Danielson was a bad public speaker. So, went to out saying, we speak American around here. Hence what MJF said. So Konosuke followed up, kiss my ass is what he said. So MJF was sticked. They shoved each other back and forth. MJF told Aubrey Edwards to get him out of the ring or he would fine him. So he fired back at the crowd who said that you can go a whole hour or an Iron Man match with Bryan Danielson. So MJF tells that. So he went to some of the celebrities that were in ringside, such as Ken John and Freddie Prinze Jr. So he went to Ken John, praised him for the hangover. But he said, well, was that like 20 years ago? And I still love the hangover to this day. And then he went into how, you can also see him on Dr. Kent. But then MJF was like, oh, no, you can't, because it got canceled. Sorry about that. So then MJF said, speaking of people he wants to see canceled, went to Freddie Prinze Jr. So MJF said, people may remember him from She's All That. He doesn't because he was born in 1996. And unlike everyone else, he's not a dinosaur. So MJF said what he remembers from Freddie most about is being a supporting character or a supporting role to a CGI talking dog. So then MJF then proceeds to call Freddie a Scooby-Dooby douchebag. Funny stuff by MJF. Left kind of Freddie lost for words, I'd say. Hilarious. So Bryan came out, chased off MJF, and then we proceeded to this great match between the two, Konosuke and Bryan. So hard strikes landed as you expect. Konosuke blew Thunderbomb for a good near fall. Konosuke was actually dropped to the outside. Bryan and Suicida. They were on the top rope. Konosuke's big lariat sending Bryan off the top for a good near fall. There was a little bit of botch where Bryan went for his running knee off the apron. And Konosuke seemingly caught him, but they both fell on the outside. Konosuke then followed up with a brainbuster on the outside. Went for a senton off the top rope, but Bryan got the knees up. Locked in the bell lock, but Konosuke got to the ropes. Bryan went for the anvil elbows. Excuse me for a sec. Need a drink. Yeah. So Konosuke countered, went for locked Bryan to a fireman's carry. Bryan seemingly went for a victory roll, but Konosuke counted to like an inverted tombstone, and then hoisted Bryan up for a deadlift German, suplex for a good near fall. Konosuke went for his signature running knee, but Bryan got out of the way, hit the cycle knee then for a great near fall. Bryan then won with the Somps and the Regal Stretch. Konosuke was out, and there was that. So, good stuff there between the two. As you expect, a hell of a match. Too many apps on my phone. Alright, there we go. Alright, now, let's see. So, good show of respect between the two after the match. Good stuff. So, Juice Robinson was backstage with their podcast. He challenged Darby Allin to a TNT title open challenge on Rampage. So yeah, stuff to look forward to. This was I guess, mixed reaction part of the show. So, Toni Storm and Saraya versus Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. So, get into it. So, Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks, she, of course, longer with WWE. She debuted at Wrestle Kingdom. First non-WWE appearance. She showed up in New Japan. She will face Kairi Sane for the IWGP Women's Championship in February. Mercedes did not show up despite much speculation that she would show up on Dynamite on Wednesday, and that frustrated a lot of people. You know, when CM Punk was heading to AEW, we kind of felt with all the hints, you know, in Chicago, hints by Darby Allin, you know, I mean, the United Center was over 18,000 sold for the United Center. I mean, people thought, you know, hints were dropped. But so, Darby Allin, so really no hints were much dropped. I mean, yes, Britt Baker did say that she's the boss last week, but besides that, there wasn't really anything. So, and Saraya announced last week that would be Toni Storm. But yeah, it's a little confusing topic for people. Anyway, so big story match was the ending. So Garcia, who was overlooked pretty much as not being Saraya's partner for this match, she came out with a crutch. So she came out there and threw the crutch in the middle of the ring. Britt Baker got whacked Toni Storm with it. Jamie Hayter followed up with her big ripcord lariat. 1, 2, 3, and they won. And Toni Storm, or Sheeta, looked shocked, but, building of a story is questioned with this match. And the ending, apparently, the lights went out, and the Rampage logo graphic showed up, so people were upset about it. I certainly had their hopes up for Mercedes. The Jericho Appreciation Society, they're out there confronted by Action Andretti and Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks just pretty much berated Jake Hager and his hat. Excuse me. Next week we're getting Ricky Starks, Jake Hager. Should be a decent little match. Action Andretti, I say, is not a fan of Sammy Guevara. I mean, Sammy Guevara is certainly likewise not a fan of Action Andretti after what Andretti said about Time Mello on Wednesday, so funny stuff there. But yeah, Starks is a star to be groomed, and this feud with the JS is certainly likable as far as the direction of Ricky Starks. So, good stuff. Main event, Escalera de la Muerte. Well, first of all, before, line up for next week's Dynamite. So we got Young Bucks versus Top Flight. We got Ricky Starks, Jake Hager, and more. Got some good matches lined up for next week, so stuff to look for. So, main event, Escalera de la Muerte. Match 7 for the AEW World Tag Team or Trio Styles. This was as Demolition Derby as it could be, less than 20 minutes, and it delivered. Fitting ending to this hell of a best of 7 series between the Elite and Death Triangle. But yeah, this was all over the place. So just try to go over as many spots as I can. But yeah, so there were 2 tables set up on the outside. Omega went for the Rise of the Terminator dive on Pac, but he moved out the way. So Kenny crashed and burned on a table, through a table outside. Matt Jackson then hit a crossbody 2-pack through the other table, which kind of sent to break. Ladders were, of course, very implemented in this match. Penta got launched on a ladder with a back body drop. So The Young Bucks went for their assisted 450, but on a ladder to Penta, but count out of it. Phoenix hit a springboard hurricanrana to Nick, and his legs and his ass kind of took the bare brunt of the ladder, so that kind of had to have sucked. But good spot. Rich Brothers then hit the Fear Factor, followed with a tope by Phoenix, but could not get to the belts. Matt then hit a Northern Lights suplex to Phoenix on the ladder. Nick Jackson then hit a beautiful 450 splash to Penta through a table on the outside off the top. There was a bridge ladder because, of course, sometimes pretty much always happens, whether it's on the announce desk, on the apron, but some way or another there's a bridge ladder. So there's a ladder bridge between the one that was set up in the middle of the ring and the ropes. So Penta hit a package pile driver to Matt Jackson on the bridge ladder, which pretty much took him out for a wrestling match. Phoenix and Omega were exchanging at the top of the ladder. Omega hit a one-winged angel off the bridge ladder, so almost like a top rope one-winged angel. Pac went for a black arrow, but Omega got the knees up. Omega then climbed the ladder and unhooked one of the titles, and we got new World Trios Champions in AEW. And once again, the Elite stand tall as Trios champions. You know, people are going to say it was predictable since Los Angeles and the Elite. But that was a hell of a match nonetheless, and a hell of a series. So, can't complain. It's great to have the Elite back in AEW, that's for certain. And what a match by all 6 combatants. So, can't complain too much. Now the hope is that the Elite find a way and that they end up dropping the titles to House of Black. And we get that feud going, and that should be fun. That should be fun, but nonetheless, all things considered, thank you for joining me. Good episode today on the podcast, but of course, if you like, leave a like, leave a thumbs up, help out the video, help out the channel. But nonetheless, thank you all. See you all back next week sometime for AEW Dynamite review, but hope you guys enjoyed it. And nonetheless, thank you all. Be safe. I made jokes one love. Get out of here. Peace.